Well, he shut everybody up because he got a veteran wide receiver, a guy which you really didn't think was available. How do you get A.J. Brown, 24 years old, Pro Bowl wide receiver, in the prime of his career? You take him from Tennessee, you bring him in. I mean, that's a shocker.
Welcome back, National Football Show. Your boy Big Sills. Merrill Reese will be with us tomorrow, by the way, and also on Thursday at 4:30, Keith Jackson will be with us, and then on Friday we are going to have Keith Byers with us too. So those are confirmed. We're going to have it wall to wall this week on what the Eagles have done in this offseason here. And again, you have to look at what they've done now in totality here with not just the draft, but now with the offseason. The Hassan Reddick deal looks even better now. And you're looking at the depth on the front seven now. I mean, look at their rotation that they have. This is starting to look like the 17 team, but the difference here, this football team is being built with guys in their mid-20s instead of guys in their 30s or mid-30s. Let's bring our friend Fox 29 Garry Cobb in here right now. And Garry was spectacular too with the JAKIB Media coverage. He was just great. And Garry, I saw some of the comments that you made, and I was listening to some of the comments that you made. Just give me your thoughts again on the whole 3 days, and add in the offseason now on how this whole thing looks for the Eagles as they go into mini camps and they get ready for training camp in July.
Well, the offseason, Howie really faced a lot of criticism during the offseason because he didn't get a veteran wide receiver. So we said, hey, he didn't get a veteran wide receiver. Well, he shut everybody up because he got a veteran wide receiver, a guy which you really didn't think was available. How do you get A.J. Brown, 24 years old, Pro Bowl wide receiver, in the prime of his career? You take him from Tennessee, you bring him in. I mean, that's a shocker. I mean, nobody knew anything about that. I mean, that's a shocker. And then to find out that he and Jalen are so close, and that Jalen is how close are I forgot, but how he what it was the stepfather? What was it? Not the stepfather, but I forget what it was. But anyway, he's really close with the kid, and that they have been friends all this time. And to see them make that move, that was astonishing because you didn't think he was available. You're looking at all these lesser receivers that you were disappointed they didn't get, and then they come out and they get a gem. So you got your number one receiver. That's going to make things good for Devontae, of course, for Jalen. So you made that move, and so that really you go back and you have to tell Howie, hey, look, we didn't know you were going to do this. The offseason was cool. If they'd have made this move at the beginning of the offseason, everybody would have been praising Howie all offseason. So in the first round, they get Jordan Davis. Now, he has got to improve. I mean, but he's a specimen. This guy is, as big as he is and as fast as he is.
But, Garry, does it concern you that you're drafting a guy that high and his forte is not pass rushing?
Hey. Yep, it definitely does. I mean, I talked about it this weekend. The guy that's got to step up, Tracy Rockers, their defensive line coach, he's on the hot seat because he has got to teach this kid how to pass rush. And if he does not affect the passing game, this is a wasted pick. You cannot draft somebody for the running game anymore because this is a passing league. He's got to be in there on third down. Down at Georgia, he was off the field on third down. Third down is when everything happens. He's got to affect the quarterback. He's got to get pressure up the gut. He's got to learn how to slide and hit those gaps. He's got to use his long arms. I see he's got long arms. He's got big hands. He's got to be able to use that. So he does have, the skill. Well, he doesn't have the skills, but he has the athleticism that you want to see out of a defensive tackle. But he's got to learn to rush the passer. And really, I mean, I was just, I was not happy about seeing what he was doing on third down. Sometimes on pass downs, what he was doing. He's standing there with the guy almost like they're having a conversation with the offensive guard.
Stops his feet.
Rather than rushing the passer.
He stops his feet.
Yeah. So he's got to learn. So Tracy Rocker, the Eagles defensive line coach, he has got to work with this kid. And obviously he must have gave him a thumbs up that he felt that he can make the type of growth and help the growth in him that he needs to. But
he knew him because he helped recruit him for Georgia.
Yeah.
So he knew the background of the kid. And you're dead right. What if he ends up being Vince Wilfork? Would you be okay with that? Or do you think that's still a wasted pick at that position when we're talking about how high that is? Because I say his floor is Vince Wilfork. If he doesn't get – because I don't see 10 sacks out of Jordan Davis.
Well,
I don't see a 10-sack guy.
Well, if he doesn't give you 10 sacks –
Do you see Ndamukong Suh with him, Gary?
It's by faith right now. You're talking about faith. I don't see it on tape. So he's got to improve, though. I mean, he's got to affect the passing game. Now, he doesn't necessarily have to get 10 sacks.
Agreed.
If he can affect the game, meaning like you're knocking down passes, you're getting in the quarterback's face, he's throwing the ball away, different things like that. So he doesn't necessarily have to have the sacks, but he's got to affect the passing game. Can't just be the running game. People don't run the ball enough. The game's not on the line when you're running the ball. The game's on the line on third down. The end of the game, you're leading by 4 points. Can you get pressure on the quarterback, win the game, or are you going to let them drive the length of the field? Everything comes down to the pass rush. He's got to get pressure up the gut. Now, you can't knock down passes. Quarterbacks hate that. He's got the size to do that, but he's got to be able to get around. Don't stand there, where you just stand there wrestling with the guy. No. You got to get into the backfield. You got to get penetration into the backfield. That's what it's about. And so they got to teach him to do that. Now, they are taking a chance at this high of a pick where he hasn't showed that on film. He hasn't shown that.
I agree with you.
They got to get him to do that. And no, I would not be happy if he does not affect the passing game. This was not a good pick. But if they can teach him, Tracy Rocker got to do his job.
How about this when it comes to the rotation and to the depth now of the team? Josh Sweat, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Hassan Reddick. The second team is Brandon Graham, Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, Derek Barnett. Would you say that this front four with the depth on it now is as formidable as that 17 Super Bowl team?
It has the potential. It has the potential, but, I can't guarantee that because in the middle there with Fletcher, I mean, how much are you going to get out of Fletcher now?
You're not sold on the Davis pick, are you, Gary?
No, I'm not sold on it. I mean, I love the size and everything, but I saw the kid on tape. He doesn't know how to rush the passer yet. I mean, it's the truth.
What do you make of only 19 and a half tackles for losses in 43 games at Georgia?
Well, he's got to get in better shape. The thing that I said was, I don't want him eating any cheesesteaks. All the people, I don't want anybody in Philadelphia. Don't give this kid a cheesesteak. We don't need to get them hooked on cheesesteaks. This kid's got to lose some weight. He's got to get in shape. He got to get in shape. And you know what? Playing inside, man, that's work. Rushing the passer, man, it's work. It's you got to be in great shape to do that, or you're going to be standing at the line of scrimmage like I saw him doing on some of that tape.
Too much hand fighting.
Having a conversation with the offensive guard, like, hey,
Gary,
so where you going after the game?
Gary, too much hand fighting.
Too much hand fighting, man. He's got to learn how to, how to make himself skinny and get around that corner, man. So he does have the athleticism to do it. I mean,
he does.
To see him run, you see him run people down and everything. He's got the ability, but they've got to teach him. And they obviously believe they can do it, and that's why they went out and got him. And, so I understand that. And I understand how Howie, basically, he's going after him. He gets two guys off the national championship team, the middle of their defense. And, so that's a safe thing you're doing from the mentality. You got the best in the business there.
Hey, no $200 gift cards from Geno's is what Gary's saying. We can't
No,
have any no gift cards from Geno's. What you
I would
mentioned
put
the
his
other guy in the middle. What's your
say it
take on
again?
Nakobe Dean coming to the Eagles?
Well, the thing I see with Nakobe, I see a guy who is very smart, and you can't put enough importance on that. Playing linebacker, you got to have instincts. Some of it you can't teach. A play starts, you got to know, go inside, go outside. You got to go make the play. Now he's got that. He's got those instincts, and the kid is smart. You can see that he can see a certain formation. He knows what the other team is getting ready to do. I see him taking off early, making plays. So I love to see that. And the kid is a leader. He led a national championship defense. So I like those qualities. He's a big play guy. He really is a guy that makes plays in open field. That's what you got to do at the linebacker position now. So I love the pick. I was shocked that he was still there. I don't know why he was still there, but as long as he's healthy, let's roll. I think that's a great pick.
Why were you there in 12? Okay, and you played 12 years. I mean,
yeah. Hey, they make mistakes.
They do. They do.
And sometimes the mental part of the game, some of it you can't explain. Like you can't explain why one guy has an instinct to go and he's always around the ball. Another guy gets blocked. He doesn't know. He takes the wrong way and he opens up the gate for them to run for a touchdown. Some of that you can't explain. Clearly, he has the instincts of a linebacker. So from that standpoint, I think he's going to be ready to roll. And I can hear by the way he's talking, man. He's happy to be with his boy Davis. Let's do this, but this is the pro level. These are the pros.
Oh, completely.
It's not college level anymore.
Let me read you this here. Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins, Dallas Goedert, Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelsey, Isaac at guard, Lane Johnson at right tackle. Your thoughts on that offense? Has it improved since the last regular season in 2021?
I think it has improved. I mean, with the addition of A.J. Brown, that's a tremendous improvement. So now you got a guy what the other team is worried about a receiver. They come out immediately. It's going to affect what defenses they see. They got to be worried about a guy getting deep on him because he's not only a power guy, he can get deep. And so I think he greatly affects what they do and the way teams are going to play them. But they still have that running game. Now, I got to tell you, Sills, hey, Jason's on the
I think
clock.
they got a 24-year-old T.O. in that offense now with A.J. Brown.
I think you're right. I mean, think about it. He's the most complete receiver they've had since him. This kid he's a physical specimen. Also, he's got the speed. But what this means is Jalen is on the clock. Jalen Hurts is on the clock. He's got everything he could ask for. Now they want to see a big-time offense, that him operating this offense and them being able to have an explosive passing game. They've got a running game. We know that. But do they have a passing game that week in and week out, they can go out and attack defenses and make big plays? That's what we got to see. And so, he's got that fourth year coming up where, hey, they're paying $40 million a year, 45, 35 quarterbacks making at least $30-35 million a year.
Gary, how many games going into this 2022 year will the Eagles know about Jalen? How many games will they go like this? Because I don't know if you think that they've already come to their conclusion on him or not, or if they're going to give him that opportunity to really be the guy.
Well,
how are you seeing this?
Well, the things are right now is he hasn't proven to them that he is the guy. He has not proven that he is the guy. Because if he had proven that he is the guy, then we still wouldn't be doing this dance. where they're backing up those picks into the next draft, where they're looking at all these quarterbacks. You know, they would be looking at quarterbacks, but they really wouldn't be looking at quarterbacks as starters. But he hasn't proven to them that he is the guy. So they're still giving him time. I'd say 9 games. You know, I would say 9 games. They will know whether he is the guy or not, because that gives them some time to get used, you know, with the playing with AJ, and then, you know, they're going to know by then. Got all the pieces. You got a great offensive line. You now got you a great receiver to throw the ball to. Devontae's going to be better. That's your number 2. You got your tight end. You got everything you could want. So they're going to want to see an explosive passing offense. They already got an explosive run offense. They're going to want to see an explosive passing offense that's consistent. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but they want to see consistently that they're able to go out, come down, and shred opposing secondaries. We're going to see. The key is going to be.
Let me get you on the other side of the ball here.
Okay.
Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat, Kaiser White, Nakobe Dean, TJ Edwards, Darius Slay, Epps, Harris, and Maddox. Has this group improved?
I think they definitely have improved. I think they're better, but you're going to have some young people out there, though. See, so I don't know that we're going to find out everything. You don't have everything. You don't have that other corner. You really don't have the other corner. And you got young guys in leadership spots. See, they just got there. You know, Dean has just arrived. So it's going to take a little time. This is a pro. So, you know, and then Davis is going to be a development project. They got to teach him how to rush the passer. But it's going to be exciting to see, because these kids have talent. You know, just are they going to be able to get it out of them? And it's going to be fun to see them come together as a group, and to see them, you know, you see a defense come together, man. They get to the point where at a certain time of the game, they start to hunt, and they start to hunt together.
You think this football team could win the NFC East?
Yeah, I do think so. Yeah, but the key is going to be Jalen Hurts. But I think they can. I think they can, but they're going to have that explosive passing offense, where there are going to be some games where they're going to have to come. They're going to have to win it. Last 4 minutes of a game, march the length of the field, put the ball in the end zone. They're going to need some of those games, and it's going to come down to Jalen. I think that they're going to find out. Now, right now, everything is fair. We gave you the pieces. You got the weapons. He's got to go out and he's going to show. You know, I hope he does. I mean, I like the kid and everything, but this is not about like. This is about either do or don't.
Does this tell us a little bit also? Will this tell us also a little bit about Nick Sirianni? I mean, look, we've seen Matt Nagy. We saw him win a division title in Chicago. He gets fired 2 years later. Hell, we saw so many coaches that got out to a great start. They end up getting fired before in the past, especially in Philadelphia. I mean, Ray Rhodes comes to mind. He won a couple of NFC Coach of the Year awards and was fired.
Yep. Okay.
Is this also going to tell us now no excuses for Nick Sirianni to develop this offense too?
Without a doubt, because you got to give Howie a lot of credit. He's given him. How could you ask for anything more?
No, I agreed.
You got all the pieces there. Now it's both he and Jalen. We want to see an explosive passing offense where, you know, come on. We see what Kansas City has done. I mean, Andy Reid has shown us what they can do there year in and year out. We've seen it with other teams where they've got the passing game, you know, where they've got an explosive passing game. And so that's why they win so much. I mean, Green Bay's been doing that. They've been doing that act over there where late in the game, they're coming back. They're going to score. Can you do that? Can you make big plays? You know, can you shred a defense that's struggling? You shred them, run them off the field where they're just ready to leave. They can't even slow you down. We need to see some of that. That's what we need to see against a good defense, where you go up against a quality defense and you pick them apart. That's what Jalen Hurts has got to do. He's got the weapons. Nick Sirianni, they got everything they could ask for. Now we want to see production. And, it's the tough part of the game, but it's the fun part of the game too, because this is about competition. Can you produce with everything on the line? They got all the pieces. Howie did his job, and now he's handing the baton to Nick, who is now going to hand that ball to Jalen. And Jalen ultimately is the guy that got to go in there and lead them on that drive where you're trailing, 30 to, 27. You got to drive the length of the field, win the game, at least tie it. And, you got the ball backed up against a good defense. Can you drive it down there? And this is not just about the running game. This is about throwing the ball. And, can you come out? Can you put up 35 to 40 points when the Eagles are playing a good team? They're playing a team that can score. And this other team scored 31. Can you score 34 and beat them?
Garry, do you think this defense has now improved enough to play press coverage? Or do you think it's still going to be in a situation where you, me, and Seth, we're going like this? Man, just too much zone. And these teams are still going to beat them up.
Well, they're going to have to watch, that other corner spot. But, you can cover, you can have somebody over the top. They cannot play like that next year. They can't play like they did, especially starting out the season. That's not NFL football. Can't play like that. They got to be more attacking. So I think they will be. It's going to be interesting what happens at that corner spot. That's something that it's going to be interesting to see what they do and who they put over there. That'll be a key. But, you got Darius Slay on one side. Avonte Maddox will be in there in the slot. I think that they have enough to where they're going to be competitive, but they still could use another corner. But they got the big boys. They got to be getting pressure on that quarterback, man. That's what's got to be greatly improved, and I think that they have brought in people that are capable of doing it. But that's going to be key defensively.
Garry, absolutely. You know what, too, man? I just got to tell you, I think that what you've done for me is you've brought all the Eagle people in the front office at the NovaCare Center onto the show. I get text messages now from Bob Lang. I get text messages from Tracy Rocker. I want to thank you because they're all going, I got a text message, and I won't tell you exactly from who, how you like us now. And I'm like, oh, you haven't played it down yet.
That's
These
right.
kids don't even have their helmet yet. Wait
That's
a minute. Let's see what we're going to do, but it looks very optimistic.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun because this is what the NFL's about. Show up and let's show what you can do. And this is the year. They got definitely exciting year ahead, and a lot of people are on the clock.
Absolutely. Garry Cobb, Fox 29. Thank you so much, my friend. Love you to death. Thank you, Garry.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
You got it. Garry Cobb. I got to tell you, man, I'm with everybody, man. He mentioned some things about Jordan Davis that doesn't concern you now on what he said about Jordan Davis. Okay? Hey, by the way, Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free, my friends. Picking an attorney is one of the most important things that you possibly can do for you and your family when it comes to getting the fair compensation. For the people, not a slogan. It's who they are. It's what they do. I've known John Morgan for over 25 years. And I promise you, the passion that he and his family have put into this with Mike and all, it's incredible on what they have grown to. They have grown to now be the biggest law firm in the country. Size matters when you're going to battle because people will try to take advantage of you when you're trying to get your fair compensation. Last 30 years, they've collected over $13 billion. $13 billion in compensation for their clients. This is what Morgan & Morgan does with over 800 attorneys and offices in Philadelphia, New York, Florida, all across the country. Morgan & Morgan goes to battle for you to make sure that you get the fair compensation. By the way, getting an attorney usually leads to 3 times the settlement. That's why Morgan & Morgan will not be intimidated by anybody when they go to battle for you. The call is free. 800-512-1600. The consultation is free. 800-512-1600. There is no firm in the country like Morgan & Morgan. Call them again, 800-512-1600. And when you call them, tell them Big Sil sent you.
Many times when people are injured at a place of business, they don't realize they may have a case. The fact is, injuries should not happen. And most of the time when someone is injured, someone is at fault. Maybe the store manager installed a cheap, slippery floor, or there wasn't proper security. After an injury at a hotel, restaurant, store, or any place of business, it's so important to call us. Time matters, size matters. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.com.